I'm back dragging my suitcase, holding my microphone. I'm going the few hundred meters from the hotel I've been staying at here in Billund, Denmark for a few days. Of course, I found it on hotels25.com, got a good rate on it. And now I'm about to fly to Stansted, London. And from there, I'm flying to Fez in Morocco. So now I'm going to Africa. And I'm so looking forward to that.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world.
My name is Palle Bo, and I'm a long-time radio producer. In 2013, I started planning to become a digital nomad and a full-time traveler. 3 years later, I had sold my house, my car, and all my furniture. And in July 2016, I set out on a quest to visit every country in the world. In this podcast, I'm taking you along on my journey, and I'm sharing my ups and downs and let you listen in to conversations with some interesting people I meet along the way.
This is the Radio Vagabond Podcast.
Welcome to Season 4 of the Radio Vagabond Podcast. In this season, you can join me on my adventures through Northwestern Africa and in the very south of Africa. I got so much in store for you. My name is Palle Bo, and this is the Radio Vagabond Podcast. I'm in Stansted now, and I'm waiting for my flight from London Stansted to Fez in Morocco. I'm flying Ryanair. That's one of the reasons I'm in Stansted. Not that this is the most inspiring place to be. And I have a 7-hour stopover here in Stansted Airport. And when I booked the flight, it's funny, even though it's Ryanair, both from Denmark to here and from here to Morocco, it's funny that on the Ryanair website, I couldn't search directly from Denmark to Stansted. I would think that would be the obvious thing that they showed me, that you need to transit in Stansted Airport, but no, you had to book a ticket from Denmark to Stansted and then go in again and book a ticket from Stansted to Fez in Morocco. So that's what I did, and it was super cheap, but it's funny that they don't have that option. But yeah, that's what you need to do in case it doesn't show up. Go in twice and book 2 flights. And that also means that I've left Denmark. I've been in Denmark, my home country, for a little over a month, and that seems like a long time, but there's a good reason for that. And at this point, I'm finally able to say it out loud, because this episode of the Radio Vagabond Podcast won't be out until it has been published, that I'm doing a podcast for Lego. They're building a Lego Technique model of the Bugatti Chiron. So I've done a lot of interviews in both Molsheim in France, in Wolfsburg in Germany, and in Billund, Denmark, with 13 or 14 different people, some of the designers, some of the guys that did the engine, and I even met Andy Wallace, the famous racing driver. And that's all in 9 episodes of the Lego Technique podcast that is out now. So when you hear this, it should be out, and you can go and search for it wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for the Lego Technique podcast. I'm really proud of what I've done so far. I'm still working on it as I'm going to Morocco. I have all the recordings, hours and hours of interviews that is now being edited down to these 9 episodes, and I think it's gonna be great. But I will still be doing a lot of editing in Morocco, and maybe even some of the countries that will come after Morocco. I still need a lot of work to do on it, but I can do that anywhere now that I have the recordings. So it's just editing time, and then I can do it at the side of a pool.
It's the first time it's Morocco? Yeah.
Yes, it's first time.
Number of flights, please.
The flight, just a second. FR 2772.
2772.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I got fairly easy through immigrations in Fez, Morocco, late at night and got my stamps.
Where are you from, sir?
I am from Denmark.
Hagen.
Yeah.
First time in Morocco.
Yes, it's my first time here.
And even though I've tried it several times before, I ended up paying a little bit too much for the taxi into the center of Fez. It's funny how things are always more expensive when you arrive at a place with all your bags looking like a confused Westerner than it is when you've had a week or 2 weeks to get to know the level of the prices. And that was the case with the taxi.
And then Rabat, and then probably Marrakech.
When I got to the hotel, it was close to midnight, and the man behind the counter didn't speak much English.
Du Danmark. Booking du Danmark. لا ما عنديش دايرها من الدنمارك. لا عنده في لو 19.
I made the booking on November 3.
لا عندي لا شومبر.
We did figure out that he could not find my name in the bookings.
What euro combien? قالوا كدير شويه انجليزيات سي وزني.
After we spoke for a long time in each a language that the other person didn't understand, he made a call to someone who was better at English and handed me the phone.
Hello. I'm good. I'm just hoping to get a room here that I booked. Yes, around 1,000 dirham. Yes. I got a confirmation email. I booked it through Aroma.
When I say that it's booked through a website called Aroma, it was first through hotels25.com. As you know, Hotels25 searches a bunch of the big hotel search sites and shows where the room is cheapest. And in this case, it was Aroma. And when the booking didn't show at the hotel, it was not the fault of Hotels25 or Aroma. It turned out to be the hotel's fault. And when I showed them my booking and told them how much I paid, they made sure that I got a similar room without having to pay for it. So everything worked out. It was just something that I didn't enjoy spending an hour on after traveling a full day from early morning.
Breakfast. In breakfast.
With breakfast, yes.
وندير شي طريف ندير جامبو ايوا يمكن هي هذيك كما قلتي واخا سي لا دونك زعما اون لو طون واخا صافي انا غنتا تكلف بلا ما واخا سي داك
Yes, it is me that he's talking to. We were the only two people in the room, and even though I did not understand a word of it, he kept talking.
I managed to get my room. Apparently, the booking didn't go all the way through to the hotel, so as I walked in, the night guy looked very confused and looked at me as if, what are you doing here? But he managed to call somebody, and I got a room, and here I am now. And the key worked. Nice big room here. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Here in northwestern Africa, I've decided to travel with a friend from Denmark who's also a digital nomad. His name is Edward and he's already in Fez. When we come back, he'll join me, and then you can hear me get into trouble when I disrespect the king. But first, let me mention that this episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels, guest houses, and hostels all around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com. You should try it.
And I can take anything you can throw at me, and nothing can get me down. Life is looking so bright, the sun is up again. I'm feeling like I could fly. No clouds in my way, no. And oh, 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 I'm living the good life. And oh, 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 I'm living the good life now. Oh, 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 I'm living the good life. And nothing can get me down.
No, the Jalaba, beautiful. Your business. You work, Jalaba, see, one time, from Arabia, Saudi, from the Egypt, from everybody.
The guy I'm talking to now is an old Moroccan man. He was sitting on the terrace of the hotel and tried to sell me a tour. His name is something like Ahmed Ashai.
Haji. Ahmed.
Ahmed Ahadji.
Haji before the 1983, coming from Mecca, from Arabia, Saudi.
Okay. What should I call you?
Yeah, Ahmed Arabi, Ahmed Al-Bar.
Ahmed.
The family in Hajj, all the Muslim people, the name Haji.
Okay.
And original of first.
Yeah.
Generation of the generation, family of the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask how old you are?
Yeah, 74 years old.
Really? Wow.
I am grandfather.
Yeah. So I have
7 children, 3 girls, 4 boys, and 7 small.
So you lived in Morocco all your life?
The generation of the generation, the generation of the family of the family. Original of this.
Yeah.
Arab.
Do you remember my episodes from New York that I called The Humans of New York? Here I asked the same 5 questions to some locals. And that went pretty well, I think, so I thought I'd repeat the success here in Morocco. But I don't know if it was the language barrier or my disrespect for the king. The conversation stopped. Have a listen to this. It can be a little bit difficult to understand, so pay attention.
I have 5 questions. The first, what is the best thing about living in Morocco?
First city, because the old traditional religious Islam and artistic, the capital of the handicrafts in Morocco.
Yeah. What's the worst thing about living in Morocco?
In Morocco,
Is there something bad about living in Morocco?
yeah, living in the first people, I'm from French,
Yeah.
the second from Morocco, Morocco, French, Moroccan, and English, Spanish, because first 300 kilometers closer from Spain. From Ceuta, Melilla, everything.
Don't worry, I did not understand a word either. So I asked again, this time more simple.
So what is bad?
What?
What is bad
For you or from?
for living in Morocco?
I don't from the publicity. I know. Open my eyes. Nice people. If you've been in Morocco, you love it Morocco. You like it Morocco. Be sure.
Yeah.
Because nice the people from your country, a good relation, in Morocco. Long time.
Okay, I decided that I would not make this man say anything critical about his country, so I moved on to the next question. And this is where things go wrong. My question is normally, if you were president tomorrow, what would be your first executive order? But I wanted to make it more local, so I asked him, if you were king for a day. Big mistake. You do not even toy with the idea of someone else being king.
If you were president, do you have a president here in Morocco?
President? No, here in Morocco, the kings.
Okay, if you were king tomorrow, what would be the first thing you would say?
Please, please, please. All Muslim people in my country love than the King Muhammad VI.
Yeah.
Because Muhammad VI, the world king, everything in Morocco, from everybody, all the country, nice man, the work, hand to hand. I'm sorry, sir.
I did not mean to offend you. Sorry.
Everybody, they love all the country.
I just meant as a funny experiment. Yeah. If you could decide everything, would you change a law? Would you make a law that says something special? Would you make a new law?
Muhammad VI, from Morocco, to make everything on the love of the city of the first, because Moulay Idris, the man that founded the city, the first king from in Morocco. Nice man. Happy?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And that was the end of that interview. With all due respect for the king, I stepped over a line I did not know existed. But you live and learn all the time. Never mind, because now my good friend Edward shows up.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on theradiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.
I'll speak to Edward in the next episode, so you'll get to know my new travel companion. Also in the next episode, you can join us as we go to Rabat, the capital of Morocco, where it's the plan that we want to collect a lot of visas for the many countries that wait ahead. And then we're going out exploring Rabat, and I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Palle Bo. See ya.